Hey guys, today we are making deodorant at home, and trust me, deodorant is actually very simple to make once you understand the science behind it. You will understand why we add each ingredient, we're gonna go hands-on and make the recipe, and then you will be able to make it yourself at home. Before we do, if you're new here, my name is Perry. I have a background in biotechnology and chemical engineering. For the past 5 years, I've been working in the biotech industry, focusing on skincare molecules, and I'm obsessed with formulation. I'm obsessed with understanding the why behind things and why ingredients act the way they do in soap making, but also other skincare products like deodorants. And if you would like a free PDF that shows you how you can make 6 completely new skincare products with only 7 ingredients, then comment "I want the formulation" and I will send to you as soon as I see your comment. This is to prove to you that you don't need hundreds of different ingredients. You don't need to waste money on hundreds of different oils and ingredients to make soap or other skincare. You just need a few ingredients, tweak the ratios, and create a completely unique product. Without further ado, let's get down to today's video. What if I told you that you could actually make deodorant at home right now with the ingredients you have in your kitchen? And that's true, actually. All you need is coconut oil and baking soda. But this is not the deodorant we are making today because this is not an optimal recipe. But let's talk about why this would work. First of all, coconut oil is high in lauric acid. And we know in soap, when lauric acid reacts with lye, it creates sodium laurate, which is a substance that creates a lot of bubbles and cleanliness. But here we are not in a soap making environment. Here we have coconut oil in its original form. There is no chemical reaction. So lauric acid is actually a natural antimicrobial. And because it's an antimicrobial, it also inhibits the growth of certain bacteria that we have in our armpits that are causing the bad odor. A lot of people think that what causes the bad odor is the sweat. That's not true. So we sweat, basically our armpits produce a lot of moisture. It's not the moisture that smells bad, it's the bacteria that start growing inside this inside this humid environment, inside this humid and acidic environment. It's those bacteria that grow there that start producing these bad odors. So adding coconut oil helps mainly with reducing the microbial load. And then we add baking soda. Why we add baking soda? Because baking soda is a substance that you have in your kitchen, and what baking soda does is that it increases the pH. Those bacteria here, they only grow in an acidic pH. If you increase the pH of your armpits, basically bacteria cannot grow, and then they don't produce, and if bacteria cannot grow, then they don't produce this malodor. So this is basically the science behind deodorants. But today we're going to optimize the recipe because there are a few problems with just using coconut oil and baking soda. One is that coconut oil and baking soda deodorant can actually feel slightly greasy on your armpits. Number two is that baking soda can be very irritating for certain skin types because baking soda can be quite harsh for your skin. So if you have sensitive skin, I recommend you don't use baking soda. So today we're actually going to make a solid deodorant that has a perfect glide, that is long lasting, it's not greasy, it's suitable for sensitive skin because it does not contain baking soda, it contains something else. So let's go ahead and look at our ingredients. Let's first start with the formula. We are using 20% beeswax, 37% beef tallow. If you don't want to use beef tallow, you can also use shea butter. Then 10% coconut oil, 12% jojoba oil, 14% cornstarch. We all have cornstarch at home. If you don't want to use cornstarch, you can also use arrowroot powder, and 6% magnesium hydroxide. This is basically an alternative to baking soda that is suitable for sensitive skin. And then we are gonna use around 0.5% of an essential oil blend. So 20% beeswax. Why do we add beeswax? Beeswax is the structural backbone of this formula. It's basically what adds structure to your deodorant and makes it firm and solid. 37% beef tallow. Tallow is basically the dominant ingredient in this formula. Tallow is approximately 27% palmitic acid and 15% stearic acid. So its primary function is to be moisturizing, and it also enhances the barrier work of this formula. Then we have 10% coconut oil. Coconut oil is high in lauric acid, which is a widely known antimicrobial compound, perfect against bacteria and fungi, but also coconut oil adds sleep and glide. Then we have jojoba oil. Jojoba oil is basically liquid wax. It's an amazing oil. It resembles the sebum that we have on our skin. It absorbs really fast, and it's gonna be the substance that is gonna make our deodorant very easy to apply. Then we have 14% cornstarch. Cornstarch is added to absorb the moisture. You can also add arrowroot powder, and basically you absorb the moisture means that you absorb all the sweat. And then the key ingredient is 6% magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide basically raises the pH of your armpits so that bacteria cannot grow in there, and it's amazing because it's suitable for sensitive skin. Let's actually go ahead and put everything in a stainless steel bowl and then melt it over a double boiler. First, 37 grams of beef tallow. So I'm making a total of 100 grams. And now I'm going to add 20% beeswax or 20 grams. Then I'm going to add 10% coconut oil or 10 grams. Let's go ahead with our amazing jojoba oil, which will make the whole deodorant glide basically better. And we're adding 12% of that or 12 grams. Then I'm gonna add 14 grams or 14% of cornstarch, which will absorb all the moisture. And then for our key ingredient, 6 grams of magnesium hydroxide. Let's go ahead and melt this over a double boiler. Let's do it, guys. Our deodorant is completely melted and it looks amazing. It also means that it's time for us to add our essential oil blend. For this recipe, I'm using a total of 0.5 grams of an essential oil blend with Lychea cubeba, which is citrusy and works perfect for a deodorant. So let's go ahead and grab an old deodorant container. I don't want to add it all the way up, just leave it a bit of space, and that's perfect. And now I'm gonna take this and place it in the fridge to cool down. So I just took it out of the fridge, and guys, guess what? This is phenomenal. Look at this. Your own deodorant at home. It smells amazing, great glide, great feel, solid structure. So can't wait for you to try this. If you want more recipes like that from deodorants, lip balms, shampoo bars, conditioner bars, sensitive skin soap, dish soap, and so on, I have an ebook that contains 15 tested recipes, and it teaches you not only how to copy recipes, but how to design your own recipes based on your own goals. I've been receiving a lot of great feedback lately, and it has helped hundreds of soap makers transform their soap making journey, so I would love to hear what you have to say about it. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll see you guys next time.